Hello, my name is Amber Garza, or Miss Garza. I will be teaching a lesson on the water cycle. Second grade TEKS. The students know there are patterns in the natural world and among the sky. The student is expected to explore the process of the water cycle. Some of the vocabulary words we'll be going over is going to be evaporation, condensation, and finally precipitation. So those are the three main vocabulary words about the water cycle. And I'll go ahead and explain what the water cycle is on this whiteboard behind me right here. So what happens is the sun will heat up a body of water, could be a lake, river, or stream. And that's the first step of the water cycle is evaporation. So what evaporation is, so like I just said, the sun will heat up the water, and then it turns into a vapor or a stream. Kind of what these blue squiggly lines are pointing up because it goes up into the atmosphere, up into the sky. So the water vapor or the steam, it'll leave the river, lake, or ocean, and it goes up into the air. The next step of the water cycle is condensation. It's right up here. So evaporation evaporates into the sky. Condensation is when the raindrops turn into clouds. So water vapor, it's in the air and it gets cold, so it changes back into liquid form, and that's when it forms the clouds, and that's called condensation. You're gonna see this in the lesson we're going to do. It's a little science experiment we're gonna do after I finish explaining the water cycle. So keep in mind condensation. The water vapor turns into liquid form. What happens in the clouds is that the steam, the vapor, turns into raindrops pretty much. They come together, they get bigger. The raindrops get bigger, they get heavier, till eventually they fall. And that's what leads to precipitation. So what precipitation is, it occurs when, like I said, the water, it's too heavy, it's too condensed, and the air can't hold it anymore. The clouds cannot no longer hold the raindrops, so that's when they fall down. So it has so much water, it condensed, they can't hold it anymore, so they fall. The clouds get really heavy, the water falls back to the earth in the form, it could be in the form of rain, hail, sleet, or even snow. So yeah, precipitation right here. I will go ahead and give you a close-up just to kind of review evaporation. And then it goes up into the air, forms into a cloud. Condensation, that's step 2. The water droplets get heavy, too much air, and forms into precipitation. And that's when you get the rain, hail, sleet, snow. So we're going to move on to our little science experiment. I don't recommend doing this if you're a young child. You'll need parental supervision. So here's the materials we're going to use. Steaming hot water. It's actually almost boiling. Some ice. A glass jar. And we're going to use a really hot plate. It's not hot yet, but I'm going to go make it hot right now. So with the jar, I'm going to empty this out. We're going to put the steaming hot water in the jar. So I'm going to go set up the hot plate, and I will be right back. Okay, so here's our glass jar. Steaming hot water. I'll put just a little bit. We don't need too much. Okay, there's a hot water. And then this is the dangerous part. This is why you need parental supervision. It's a really hot ceramic plate that I pretty much ruined for the sake of science. And the hot plate, you can kind of see the water already condensing. Put the ice on top. The ice is immediately melting now. So it's supposed to sit like that for about 2 to 3 minutes before you start to see any results. And actually, I kind of see results already. So, got the ice on the hot plate. You can see where I kind of burnt the plate, but that's okay. So what's happening right now is the water down here, it's being heated. So the water is evaporating. So we've got water vapors. They're evaporating towards the top of the jar. Once it reaches the top, the water starts to cool. That's the condensation part. When it starts to condense. And then you can see the water droplets forming right here. So this is condensation. I can see some water droplets coming down. I'd say it's precipitation. So there you have it. That's the water cycle right before our eyes. Again, it evaporated due to the heat, and then condensation due to the water vapors being cooled by the ice. And then you can see the precipitation as the water drips down. So that concludes our lesson on the water cycle. Thank you very much. Just a quick review. Just remember, the sun heats up the water. The water turns into steam and vapor, evaporates into the air, and then forms clouds by coming together and cooling off. Water droplets get too heavy. So as they form together, they get too heavy, and that's when they fall. And that would be the precipitation. And remember, it could be rain, snow, sleet, hail. That's all precipitation. You just think about that. So this is all rain right here. So thank you, and don't forget, if you try this little experiment at home, to use parental supervision. Have an adult help you with this, especially with the hot plate and boiling hot water. Thank you.